My dear soul, life will place many faces before you, some smiling, some shining, and some gently whispering promises, as soft as a lullaby. But hear me when I tell you this truth. Rule number 1, never trust anyone fully until you have learned to trust yourself completely, for the world is wide, people are layered, and hearts shift like seasons. Some will love you at sunrise and forget you by sunset. Some will clap for you in public and curse you in private. Some will hold your hand today and loosen their grip tomorrow. So listen, not with fear but with wisdom. Do not hand your spirit to someone who cannot even carry their own. Do not pour your loyalty into palms that leak. Do not open your soul to hearts that still tremble with confusion. You must trust your intuition, trust your boundaries, trust your ability to rise when someone tries to break you. Trust your own reflection before trusting another human being. Because when you trust yourself, you become unshakable. You become your own shelter. You become the calm in your own storm. And the day you choose yourself, the world will no longer fool you, people will no longer mislead you, and pain will no longer surprise you. So let your heart stay open, but let your gate stay guarded. Let your love be soft, but let your awareness be sharp. Let your smile glow, but let your wisdom guide every step. Remember this, darling, you are not here to be fooled, you are here to be free. And freedom begins the moment you whisper to yourself, I trust me, I choose me, and no one will ever make me doubt my own soul again. Self-trust is the foundation, because everything you are, everything you hope to become, and everything you fight your way through begins from the quiet place within your own chest. Before the world ever claps for you, before anyone ever believes in your dreams, before a friend, a lover, or a stranger understands your worth, you must be the first one to see it. Self-trust is the soil where confidence grows, the root that holds you steady when storms come, and the invisible armor that protects you from people who pretend to love you while holding hidden intentions. When you trust yourself, you do not move through life seeking permission to exist. You do not shrink, bend, or soften yourself to be accepted. You stand firm because you know your truth, and no one can pull that truth out of your hands. Self-trust is not loud or boastful. It is gentle, grounded, and deeply personal. It is the moment you hear your intuition whisper, this person is not for you, and you actually listen. It is the moment you sense that something is wrong, and instead of doubting yourself, you walk away with grace. It is choosing your own peace over someone else's approval. Too many times, people place their trust in others before they've built trust within themselves. They look for answers in voices that don't understand their soul. They allow someone else's opinion to become a mirror that shapes their identity. This is how hearts break, not from betrayal alone, but from abandoning the quiet wisdom inside. When you trust yourself, your decisions become clearer. You don't second guess every step, wonder if you're enough, or wait for someone to tell you what your next move should be. You move because you feel the truth in your bones. You choose because you hear your inner compass guiding you. You stop tolerating behaviors that insult your spirit, because self-trust teaches you your worth is not negotiable. You learn that you can survive disappointment, overcome heartbreak, and rise from betrayal, not because people didn't hurt you, but because you trust yourself to heal. Self-trust also means accepting your own flaws, your mistakes, and the parts of your story that weren't pretty. It is understanding that you can fail, but still be worthy. You can fall, but still rise. You can lose people, but never lose yourself. When you trust yourself, you give your heart room to breathe. You say, even if I don't have every answer, I trust that I can learn. Even if I'm scared, I trust that I can still move forward. Even if the world doubts me, I trust that I can prove my own strength. People who lack self-trust often settle for less. They settle for toxic relationships, disrespectful behavior, and environments that drain them because they believe they don't deserve better. But the moment you begin to trust yourself, the moment you decide that your voice matters, you naturally rise out of places that dishonor your soul. Self-trust is also protection. It keeps you from believing sweet lies and ignoring loud truths. It prevents you from giving your heart to those who haven't earned a single piece of it. It teaches you to watch actions over words, patterns over promises, Trusting yourself creates a filter. It becomes easier to see who truly cares and who only wants to benefit from your kindness. When you trust yourself, betrayal no longer destroys you, it educates you. Disappointment no longer breaks you, it strengthens your intuition. You stop blaming yourself for other people's failures because you understand their choices are reflections of them, not reflections of you. And perhaps the most beautiful gift of self-trust is freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from manipulation, freedom from the need to constantly seek validation. When you trust yourself, you don't chase love, you attract it. You don't beg for respect, you embody it. You don't cling to people, you connect with them from a place of strength. Trusting yourself doesn't make you hard, it makes you whole. It doesn't close your heart, it protects your heart. It doesn't push people away, it draws the right ones closer. Self-trust allows you to walk through life with a soft spirit and a strong spine, knowing that no matter who stays or leaves, you will never abandon yourself. Self-trust is the foundation, because without it, life becomes a series of doubts, fears, and disappointments. But with it, you become unshakable. You become your own safe place. You become someone who can love without losing themselves, give without being used, and rise without being pushed. You begin to understand that people will come and go, but you remain. Their opinions may shift, their loyalty may falter, their truth may change, but your self-trust keeps you grounded. It reminds you that the most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. It teaches you that no matter how uncertain the world becomes, you can rely on your strength, your wisdom, and your spirit to guide you through anything. People are unpredictable because human beings are full of layers, hidden emotions, unspoken fears, unhealed wounds, and shifting intentions that you may never fully see or understand. A person can smile at you in the morning and break your trust by night. Someone who held your hand yesterday may let it slip today. People change not always because they want to hurt you, but because they don't always understand themselves. They make promises they cannot keep. They swear loyalty they cannot carry. They speak love they cannot sustain. One moment they are certain, the next moment they become distant, confused, or silent. This unpredictability is not always malicious, it is simply human reality. People often act from places you cannot see, their insecurities, their fears, their traumas, their past heartbreaks. They sometimes walk away not because you weren't enough, but because they were afraid of how deeply they felt. They sometimes lie not because they planned to betray you, but because they didn't know how to face their own truth. People are unpredictable because life shapes them in ways you cannot predict. A conversation, a memory, a new opportunity, or a sudden insecurity can change someone's entire behavior overnight. Someone who adored you yesterday may become overwhelmed today and confused tomorrow. You may meet someone who feels warm and safe at first, only to discover that their heart is colder than you expected. You may trust someone with your secrets only to realize they were never ready to hold that responsibility. You may believe someone will stand by you until the end, only for them to disappear when you need them most. People are unpredictable because their love isn't always steady, their emotions aren't always stable, and their intentions aren't always clear, even to themselves. Many people act differently depending on who they are with. They show one version of themselves to you and another to the world. They may speak about loyalty yet run at the first sign of discomfort. They may claim honesty yet hide their true feelings beneath silence. They may tell you they care but fail to show it when the moment comes. People will sometimes treat you based on their mood, not your worth. If they are broken, they may project that brokenness onto you. If they are insecure, they may sabotage something good. If they feel threatened, they may distance themselves. If they feel overwhelmed, they may shut down. This is why placing blind trust in others can lead to disappointment, because you are trusting a version of them that can change without warning. People are unpredictable because they are influenced by the world around them, opinions of others, fear of judgment, societal pressure, temptation, jealousy, personal failures, and unexpected challenges can shift someone's heart. A person could truly care for you but still hurt you because they are fighting their own battles. Someone could promise to stay but choose to leave because they cannot stay committed to anything, not even themselves. People often don't know what they want, and even when they think they do, they may change their mind without explanation. Their unpredictability is not a reflection of your value, it is a reflection of their own internal chaos. People are unpredictable because emotions fluctuate, desire fades, excitement cools, curiosity shifts, and priorities change. Someone may admire your strength today but feel intimidated by it tomorrow. They may love your independence initially but later feel insecure because of it. Someone may be drawn to your kindness yet take advantage of it when they feel entitled. They may see your loyalty as a gift at first, but later treat it as something they can exploit. This emotional instability makes human connections delicate and uncertain. It is why you must be cautious with your heart and selective with your trust. People are unpredictable because not everyone has the courage to speak the truth. Some avoid difficult conversations, choosing silence over honesty. Some pretend they are fine while carrying silent storms. Some cling to you even when they know they cannot give you what you deserve. Some disappear without explanation because saying the truth would reveal their weakness. Their unpredictability often reveals the gap between who they want to be and who they truly are. Understanding that people are unpredictable doesn't mean becoming cold or distant. It means moving through life with awareness instead of blind innocence. It means recognizing that someone's sudden change in behavior is often more about their inner conflicts than your shortcomings. It means accepting that you cannot fully control how someone feels, reacts, or chooses to treat you. It means protecting your heart while still being capable of love. It means observing actions without rushing to make someone your home too quickly. When you accept the unpredictable nature of people, you stop expecting permanent stability from temporary souls. You stop being surprised when someone switches sides, changes their tone, or shifts their loyalty. You learn to adapt without losing yourself. You learn to appreciate people for who they are without expecting them to be what they cannot be. You learn that the only predictable thing about people is that they will change, and that change may not always align with your hope or your heart. Boundaries protect your peace because without them, people will take more than they should, drain more than they realize, and walk into places within you that they were never meant to enter. Boundaries are not walls that keep the world out. They are doors that allow the right energy in and keep the wrong energy away. They are a declaration to yourself that your time, your emotions, your dignity, and your soul matter. When you set boundaries, you are not being rude, unkind, or difficult. You are simply choosing to honor your own well-being over someone else's comfort. Many people fear setting boundaries because they worry about losing connections, upsetting others, or appearing cold. But the truth is the opposite. Boundaries do not break healthy relationships. They reveal unhealthy ones. Anyone who truly cares for you will respect your limits, and anyone who doesn't was never safe for your spirit in the first place. Boundaries protect your peace by giving you control over what you allow into your life. Without boundaries, anyone can enter your space, influence your mood, and disturb your emotional balance. You begin to absorb negativity that isn't yours, take responsibility for problems that don't belong to you, and tolerate behaviors that slowly destroy your mental clarity. But when you draw a line, even a gentle one, you create room to breathe. You create space where your heart can rest and your mind can settle. You create an inner sanctuary that only those with good intentions are allowed to enter. Boundaries are a shield that guard your energy so that you do not spend your life exhausted, overwhelmed, or emotionally bruised by people who do not appreciate your worth. People will always test your boundaries, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unknowingly. Some people push because they benefit from your lack of limits. They enjoy your yes too much. They rely on your silence. They depend on your willingness to tolerate what should never have been tolerated. Others may cross your boundaries simply because they are used to taking without asking, speaking without thinking, or behaving without consequences. But the moment you choose to speak up, to step back, or to say no, you reclaim your power. You teach people how to treat you. You show them that your heart is open but not unguarded. Your kindness is generous but not exploitable. Your presence is valuable but not free for misuse. Boundaries also protect your peace by separating your identity from the expectations of others. When you lack boundaries, you may feel obligated to please everyone, fix everything, or carry burdens that are far too heavy for your shoulders. You might say yes while your spirit screams no. You might stretch yourself thin trying to be available for people who are never available for you. You might lose yourself in the process of trying to keep everyone else comfortable. Boundaries allow you to step back and say, I matter too. They remind you that you are not responsible for someone else's happiness, reactions, or choices. You can love people deeply without carrying the weight of their emotional world on your back. Boundaries protect your peace by keeping you grounded in your truth. When you have boundaries, you no longer accept disrespect disguised as jokes, manipulation disguised as love, or control disguised as concern. You begin to recognize when someone is draining your energy or disturbing your peace, and instead of forcing yourself to endure it, you choose distance, you choose silence, you choose to walk away. Boundaries teach you that not every conflict needs your involvement, not every invitation deserves your presence, not every apology deserves your forgiveness, and not every person deserves access to your heart. You become selective, not out of fear, but out of self-respect. Boundaries also protect your peace in relationships by helping you communicate your needs clearly. So many conflicts arise not from lack of love, but lack of clarity. When you communicate your boundaries, you allow others to understand what hurts you, what comforts you, and what supports your emotional well-being. You create healthier connections built on respect, honesty, and mutual care. Without boundaries, relationships become chaotic. People assume, misunderstand, or overstep. But with boundaries, you create structure, and in that structure, love can thrive without suffocating you. Boundaries. Protect your peace by helping you conserve your energy. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every message needs replying. Not every demand deserves a response. With boundaries, you learn to conserve your time for people who value it, your wisdom for people who appreciate it, your love for people who reciprocate it, and your presence for people who do not take it for granted. You begin to invest in connections that nourish your spirit instead of those that drain it. Boundaries help you choose quality over quantity. Fewer people, but healthier ones. Less noise, but deeper meaning. Fewer distractions, but more purpose. And perhaps one of the greatest gifts boundaries offer is freedom. The freedom to be yourself without guilt. The freedom to prioritize your emotional health without explanation. The freedom to walk away from chaos without feeling responsible for the outcome. Boundaries give you the freedom to protect your heart without hardening it, to love others without losing yourself, and to remain peaceful in a world that constantly demands your energy. Boundaries are not selfish, they are sacred. They are a form of self-love that says, my peace is mine to protect, and it is a truth that will carry you through every season of life with dignity and strength. Never trust words. Trust consistency, because words are the easiest thing a human being can give you. They flow effortlessly, beautifully, softly, and often carelessly. Words can charm you, deceive you, comfort you, or completely mislead you without a single consequence to the one speaking them. Anyone can promise forever in a moment of excitement. Anyone can say, I care, I'm here for you, or I love you when the mood is sweet or the atmosphere is convenient. But consistency, oh, that is an entirely different language. Consistency requires effort, intention, discipline, sincerity, and truth. It asks a person to show up even when it's not easy, even when the emotions shift, even when the day is heavy, even when life becomes inconvenient. Words are performed, but consistency is proven. When someone truly values you, it will not only be heard, it will be seen, felt, and reflected in their pattern of behavior. They won't just reach out when they need something. They won't disappear when things are tough. They won't shower you with affection one day and treat you like an option the next. Because consistency is not built on fluctuating emotions, it is built on character. A person with strong character does not praise you publicly and hurt you privately. They don't make promises they cannot sustain. They don't give you mixed signals disguised as complexity. Their actions align with their words because their heart is steady, even if life is not. Never trust words. Trust consistency, because people can speak love while carrying indifference. Someone can talk about loyalty while entertaining distractions behind your back. Someone can promise honesty while hiding truths in the shadows. But consistency reveals everything words try to hide. You want to know someone's intentions? Watch how they treat you when you're not beneficial to them. Watch how they behave when they're upset, busy, stressed, or tempted. Watch how they show up on the days when effort is required, not applause. Consistency never lies. If someone truly cares, their actions will reflect their feelings even in silence. Words may tell you what someone wants to be, but consistency shows you who they really are. A person might speak about respect, yet constantly dismiss your emotions. They might talk about building a future, yet take no steps toward it. They might apologize repeatedly but continue repeating the same hurtful behavior. Their words give you hope, but their actions give you clarity. And clarity is what protects your heart. When you learn to trust patterns instead of promises, you no longer fall for temporary affection disguised as lasting devotion. You no longer cling to conversations. You start reading behaviors. You stop believing speeches. You start observing follow-through. Consistency is intentional. It is quieter than words, but stronger than them. The right person won't need rehearsed lines or poetic expressions to reassure you. Their effort, attention, and respect will speak for them. They will check on you without being reminded. They will honor your boundaries without being begged. They will remain steady even when life is unpredictable. Consistency is the rhythm of genuine care. It is slow, steady, and unmistakably honest. And once you learn to recognize that rhythm, you will never again settle for the noise of empty words. So many people believe in words because they crave reassurance. They want to feel chosen, seen, loved, valued. And words can give that feeling instantly, like a warm light in a dark room. But a light created by words alone flickers. It does not last. Consistency is the real light. It's the kind of light that does not dim with time, does not disappear when situations change, and does not fade when emotions fluctuate. Words may create a moment, but consistency builds trust. Words may open the door, but consistency keeps it open. Words may start a relationship, but consistency sustains it. When you trust consistency over words, you become emotionally wiser. You stop being impressed by grand declarations and dramatic statements. You stop falling for sudden intimacy or exaggerated promises. You begin to value the small things, the daily effort, the reliable presence, the steady behavior, the respectful silence, the intentional actions. You begin to see that true love, true loyalty, and true respect do not arrive with fireworks. They arrive with consistency so gentle and constant that you almost didn't notice it at first. But then you realize that the quiet consistency is the most powerful form of love because it does not need an audience. Trusting consistency protects you from heartbreak. It shields you from manipulation because you're no longer swayed by words crafted to influence your emotions. You observe closely, you listen deeply, and you give your trust slowly. You understand that a person who truly values you will never make you question your place in their life. Their consistency becomes the foundation on which your peace stands. Never trust words. Trust consistency, because words are temporary reflections of emotions, but consistency is the permanent reflection of character. Words may sound beautiful, but consistency is what makes a soul beautiful. Words are promises waiting to be broken, but consistency is commitment fulfilled without being spoken. Words attract the ears, but consistency touches the heart. Words can blind you, but consistency reveals truths that words will never confess. Your spirit is valuable, more valuable than you often allow yourself to believe. It is not just a part of you, it is the core of who you are, the quiet strength that carries you through storms, the light inside you that refuses to die even when life tries to dim it. Your spirit holds your compassion, your resilience, your intuition, your dreams, your memories, and your purpose. It is the most sacred part of your existence, and yet it is the part you often hand out freely to people who haven't earned the right to touch it. You may give your spirit in conversations where your truth isn't respected, in relationships where your heart isn't valued, in spaces where your energy is drained instead of cherished. And every time you do, you feel the weight of it. Because your spirit knows when it has been mishandled. Your spirit is valuable because it carries the history of every battle you've survived, every heartbreak you endured, every disappointment you overcame, every moment you kept going when you wanted to give up. Your spirit remembers. It carries the scars with dignity, and it carries the victories with quiet pride. It learns, it heals, and it grows. A spirit like that deserves protection. It deserves environments that nourish it, people who respect it, and relationships that honor its depth. When someone mishandles your spirit, they are not just hurting your feelings, they are damaging the place where your courage and strength come from. That is why you must be careful about who you allow into your emotional space. Not everyone has the capacity to love you the way your spirit needs to be loved. Your spirit is valuable because it is sensitive in ways others may not understand. It feels deeply, even when you pretend to be strong. It carries empathy that makes you care for others, sometimes more than they care for themselves. It sees beauty in the world even when others only see flaws. It senses danger before your mind can explain it. Your spirit whispers warnings, guidance, and wisdom, but when you ignore it, you often find yourself in situations that drain you. You may try to silence your intuition to keep someone in your life, but your spirit knows when a person is not aligned with your peace, and the more you ignore its messages, the louder the pain becomes. Your spirit tries to protect you, but you must be willing to protect it too. Your spirit is valuable because it holds the essence of your identity. People may misunderstand you, judge you, or underestimate you, but your spirit remains pure and untouched by their assumptions. It does not shrink just because someone fails to see its worth. It does not become small just because someone chooses to overlook its brilliance. When someone disrespects you, your spirit feels the sting, but it also knows that their behavior reflects their own limitations, not yours. That is why your spirit continues to rise, even when others expect you to fall. It continues to glow even after heartbreak tries to darken its light. Your spirit is your inner fire, and it cannot be extinguished by the opinions or actions of others. Your spirit is valuable because it is the source of your inspiration and creativity. Every dream you dare to chase, every goal you set, every vision you hold close, it all begins in your spirit. It is the place where your imagination lives, where your passions are born, where your purpose takes shape. When someone discourages you, dismisses your dreams, or mocks your ambition, they are trying to dim the light of your spirit. But you must remember that your dreams were not given to them, they were given to you, and your spirit will always remind you of its potential, even when others try to silence it. Your spirit is valuable because it is connected to your self-worth. When your spirit is strong, you naturally demand respect without raising your voice. You walk with dignity without seeking validation. You give love without begging for it in return. You protect your peace without needing permission. But when your spirit is weakened by toxic people, unhealed trauma, or environments that suffocate your growth, you begin to doubt your worth. You settle for less. You tolerate what you should reject. You stay in situations that break you because you forget the power within you. That is why protecting your spirit is essential. When your spirit is nourished, you rise. When your spirit is honored, you expand. When your spirit is valued, you become unstoppable. Your spirit is valuable because it holds your capacity to love. And love, when it comes from a pure spirit, is rare. It is gentle, patient, forgiving, and genuine. Not everyone deserves that kind of love. Not everyone can handle it. Some people take advantage of it. Some people run from it because it forces them to confront their own emptiness. Some people misuse it because they have never known love that deep. But your spirit continues to love anyway. Not because it is weak, but because it is powerful. Still, even a loving spirit needs boundaries. It needs the right environment to flourish. It needs people who can reciprocate, appreciate, and respect its depth. Your spirit is valuable because it is your compass. It guides you toward alignment. It warns you when something or someone threatens your peace. It tells you when to stay, when to leave, when to fight, and when to surrender. It is your most ancient wisdom, the part of you that has survived everything. And when you honor your spirit, when you listen to it, protect it, and nourish it, you step into your highest self. You begin to live with clarity, confidence, and purpose. You stop seeking acceptance outside yourself because your spirit teaches you that you are already whole. Pain teaches you who to trust because pain is the one experience that strips away illusion. When life is gentle and everything feels easy, people gather around you with smiles, promises, and warm words. Everyone seems kind when the sun is shining. But when the storm hits, When your heart is breaking, when your life is falling apart, when you are tired, lost or vulnerable, pain pulls back the curtain and shows you exactly who stands with you and who only stood beside you for convenience. Pain exposes the difference between those who love you in moments and those who love you in truth. It reveals who shows up without being asked, who checks on you quietly, who holds space for your tears, who listens without judgment, and who disappears the moment your hurt becomes too heavy for them to pretend anymore. Pain teaches you who to trust because it reveals motives. A person may smile in your success but look away during your struggle. They may enjoy your presence when you are laughing, glowing, giving and strong, but feel bothered when you need support. Pain makes their intentions clear. Some people will stay close when you are useful, when you are entertaining, when you are giving them energy, validation, attention or stability. But the moment you need something from them, patience, loyalty, empathy, effort, they pull away. Pain teaches you that trust should never be given based on words or appearances. Trust should be earned through presence, through consistency, through the way someone holds you when you are at your weakest. Pain teaches you who to trust because it magnifies compassion. When you suffer, you begin to notice who has the heart to sit with you in silence, who has the courage to confront your truth, who has the maturity to support you without making you feel like a burden. The people who show up for you during pain are the ones whose spirits are woven with empathy. They don't need explanations and they don't need perfect words. They simply care. Pain helps you recognize these rare souls because their actions reveal a love that is grounded, steady and sincere. They do not disappear because your emotions are messy. They do not judge you for falling apart. They do not leave because your darkness makes them uncomfortable. They stay, not because they have all the answers, but because they want to be the light beside you until you find your own again. Pain teaches you who to trust because it highlights patterns. You start to see who only reaches out when they need something and who reaches out because they truly care. You start to notice who offers support only when convenient and who rearranges their world to be there for you when you feel like yours is collapsing. You see who makes excuses and who makes effort. Pain sharpens your perception. It shows you who values you with action, not just affection. It teaches you to trust the ones whose behavior remains steady in your worst moments, not the ones who disappear and reappear depending on what they want from you. Pain teaches you who to trust because it strengthens your intuition. When you go through heartbreak, betrayal, abandonment, or disappointment, you begin to recognize the signs long before they reveal themselves fully. You become more aware of energy shifts, inconsistent behavior, careless words, and subtle red flags. Pain teaches you to trust your inner voice, the one that whispers warnings even when you want to believe the best in someone. It teaches you that ignoring your intuition leads to more suffering, while listening to it protects your peace. Through pain, you learn that trust is not something you hand over blindly. It is something you give slowly, wisely, and intentionally. Pain teaches you who to trust because it reveals your own strength. When you endure hurt, you realize that not everyone is meant to hold your vulnerability. You understand that your heart is sacred and not everyone deserves access to it. Pain shows you that some people break what they touch, while others hold what they touch with care. Through this understanding, you begin to trust differently. You choose quality over quantity. You choose depth over superficiality. You choose people who make you feel safe, not people who make you feel uncertain. Pain teaches you that your spirit cannot survive in environments where trust is only a word, not a behavior. Pain also teaches you who to trust by showing you who betrays you. This part hurts the most because it forces you to face the truth that not everyone you love had the capacity to love you the same way. The ones you defended may be the ones who spoke against you. The ones you cherished may be the ones who took advantage of your kindness. The ones you supported may be the ones who abandoned you when you needed them. But even betrayal is a teacher. It teaches you to stop giving people chances they haven't earned. It teaches you that trust given too freely invites harm. It teaches you to protect your heart with wisdom, not fear. Pain teaches you who to trust because it humbles your understanding of relationships. It shows you that some people are seasonal. They come into your life to teach you a lesson, not to stay forever. It shows you that loyalty is rare and should be treasured, not assumed. It shows you that the ones who stand beside you in darkness are the ones worthy of celebrating your light. It shows you that trust is not built in moments of joy, but in moments of suffering. Pain evaluates relationships with an honesty that comfort never can. When you arrive at the end of a truth this deep, something inside you shifts. You begin to see the world not through the softness of hope, but through the clarity of wisdom. And wisdom, my dear listener, is the crown life gives only to those who have walked through fire without letting it burn their soul. You've heard every piece of this message, but now it settles in your bones. Rule number 1, never trust anyone blindly, because your life, your heart, your destiny are too precious to hand over to careless hands. You were not born to be a lesson for someone else, you were born to be the lesson you learned. There comes a moment in life where you stop begging people to see you, and you start seeing yourself. You stop waiting for apologies that never arrive, and you start healing without permission. You stop breaking your back trying to prove your worth, and you finally whisper to yourself what life had been shouting all along: you are enough, and you always were. The world may not clap when you grow, but growth is not a performance. It is a rebellion. A rebellion against every lie you believed, every betrayal you swallowed, every wound you carried alone in the dark. Life will show you who people are. Every broken promise, every delayed truth, every smile that didn't match the intention behind it, those were not punishments but instructions. Life has a way of teaching you through the storm what it could not teach you under the sunlight. And the storm always reveals the truth. The storm strips away illusions, masks, sweet words, and empty gestures. The storm leaves you standing with only one person, yourself. And once you meet yourself in that raw, honest space, something miraculous happens. You rise. Higher, stronger, wiser. Not because the world was kind, but because you learned to be kind to yourself. Always remember, the world will test you, but it can never take from you what you do not give. They cannot break a woman or man who knows their own worth. They cannot fool someone who listens with their eyes, not their ears. They cannot use someone who respects their own boundaries like sacred ground. You must become so rooted in self-respect that disappointment becomes a visitor, not a resident in your life. You must become so anchored in truth that betrayal can shake your emotions but never your identity. There is a power inside you that waits for the moment you stop trusting blindly and start trusting wisely. A power that awakens when you say, I will not let the same snakes bite me twice. I will not let loyalty become a rope around my own neck. I will not shrink myself to make liars comfortable. This power becomes the fire that lights your path. Because when you stop trusting the wrong people, you make space for the right ones. Those who show up with presence, not excuses, with actions, not apologies, with truth, not charm. You must learn to guard your heart without hardening it. You must learn to love without losing yourself. You must learn to forgive without forgetting what the lesson was meant to teach you. Some people were not meant to stay, they were meant to shape you. Some people were not meant to walk with you, they were meant to wake you. And some people were not meant to be trusted, they were meant to remind you that your intuition, your spirit, your inner voice has been right all along. The greatest strength you will ever hold is the courage to walk alone when the path demands it. Because the one who walks alone learns to walk with God, with purpose, with inner fire. And the one who walks with integrity never walks in darkness. Keep your head high, your heart guarded, and your spirit unshaken. Let your silence speak where words are no longer worthy. Let your growth scream louder than your pain ever did. Let your boundaries become the gate that protects the kingdom within you. Stand tall, stand wise, stand unmovable in the truth you've earned with every scar. And as you rise, say to yourself the words that carry the weight of every lesson learned. I am no longer who I was. I am who I became in the fire.